vir julle almal graag hier verwelkom. By die opening volgend, of die onthulling van die naam van hierdie koshuis, wat voorheen sommer in die spreektaal bekend gestaan het, is die nuwe generasie koshuis. It's not the new gen anymore. From today on it will be Huis Russel Botman House. En op 'n manier is dit 'n bittersoet ervaring. Something bittersweet. Maar gee my begin my net die geleentheid om julle almal welkom te heet. Ek wil tog 'n paar mense uitsonder op die risiko af natuurlik dat ons nie almal insluit nie. Maar soos julle self weet, as you would know, that some of the values that Russell left behind for the university in the term that he was here is also inclusivity. So even if your name is not included, you will know that you're included anyway. Okay. So, van die familie se kant af, Beryl, Ilse, Hayman en Roxanne, is vir ons baie lekker om julle hier so te hê. En dan natuurlik die vriende, Dr. Lionel Lou, Mof en Renette Blanche, Professor Rachel Jafta, meneer Pat Williams, Veronica Klaasen, Professor Harold Herman sien ek hierso, en Professor Jaap Dierand. Dit is regtig goed om julle te sien. Ek weet as 'n klompie wat nou dink, julle is uitgelaat as vriende, but you confuse it a lot because you're also part of staff. So, just bear with me on that. En dan wil ek van die gemeenskap af, se kant, meneer Willie Maliwa en Imam Vermeulen, en ook al die ander gemeenskapsleiers bedank vir hulle teenwoordigheid vanoggend en baie hartlik welkom heet. En dan van die bestuur, dis 'n span wat ook saam met Professor Russel gedien het, Professor Leopold van Huisteen, Professor Arnold Skoonwinkel, Professor Judine Klute, dan ek vir Professor Mohammed Karaan gesien, daarachter. En dan natuurlik is daar die ander personeellede, Professor Dirkie Smit, Professor Nico Koopman, wat in daai kategorie val, where we don't know what to classify you as, because you were so involved in his life, that you were just virtually always there. En dan aan al die ander personeel, en al die ander studente, welcome here today. And you're here to celebrate this moment with us, but as I told you right in the beginning, that this is best described probably as something bittersweet. Dit is te vroeg eintlik vir ons om vir Russel te vernoem, nie in terme van die legacy wat hy, not in terms of his legacy, but just because we didn't want to do it by now. We would have preferred to do it later. We would have preferred that he could have been here to open this building, to see as part of his vision. Just something that I thought about when I thought about this. There's a few things. I was thinking about the opening line in Scott Peck's the journey less traveled, or road less traveled, is life is difficult. I thought the same time about that brilliant Italian movie, Life is Beautiful, where the theme says life is beautiful, but everything you see is life is difficult. And something about that, and about the research that Professor Dirkie Smit reminded us of Bonhoeffer, and all of those are present when we think about Russell today. And I would just want to engage quickly with one of his metaphors that he used in terms of his hope. Russell was always saying that the son of the farmer and the daughter of the worker on the farm should be both welcome here. And many of you won't know this, but a slight twist to that, there was a time when Russell was here, when the daughter of the farmer and the son of the farm worker was not only present at the same time at Stellenbosch, but they were also romantically tied at that time. So in some sense, as though we're still striving for some of this vision, we today are here when we also know that some of that vision of Russell is now in concrete. Okay? So it is here, there's a physical manifestation, and today we would like to give it a name. Ons wil hierdie huis en alles wat huis beteken in Afrikaans wil ons ook aan sy gedagtenis opdra.
Julle is nou deel van die Mati-familie en in hierdie familie staan ons saam. Ons respekteer mekaar, ons behandel mekaar met waardigheid, wat ons verskille ook al mag wees. Those were the words of Professor Hayman Russel Botman at the welcoming ceremony for newcomers on 23 January 2014. Dr. Beryl, Hayman, Ilse and Roxanne Botman, Professor van Huisteen, distinguished guests, staff and fellow students. Good morning. Today it is an honor and privilege for Stembile and I to pay tribute to the life and legacy of a man who has impacted our lives and the lives of all of the students on this campus, and specifically in this residence. Professor Botman was born to Karel and Mavis Botman in Bloemfontein in 1953. He attended the Dr. Block School in Bloemfontein and later matriculated from Kliptown Senior Secondary School in Johannesburg. He graduated from the University of the Western Cape, having obtained the degrees BA, BTH, BTH Licentiate, MTH Cum Laude, and DTH. As a member of UWC's Student Representative Council, he led his fellow students in protest against apartheid in 1976, which was also the year of the Soweto uprising. He was ordained in 1982 in the then Dutch Reformed Mission Church, where he served as minister of the Wynberg congregation for more than 10 years. He joined UWC in 1994 as a senior lecturer in practical theology and was later appointed as professor and then dean of the Faculty of Theology. In 2000, he joined Stellenbosch University as a professor in public theology. In 2002, he became the Vice-Rector of Teaching, a position he occupied until his historic appointment as Stellenbosch University's first black Rector and Vice-Chancellor in 2007. In the course of his career, he published widely on human rights, reconciliation, human dignity, and social justice. The title of his inaugural address at Stellenbosch University in 2007 was A Multicultural University with a Pedagogy of Hope in Africa, and he devoted his time in office to the realization of our university's stated commitment to redress and to development. He launched the university's Hope Project in 2010, a groundbreaking Science for Society initiative with the words, "Our vision for our country and continent is a future free from poverty, where human dignity of all people is protected, where our social and ecological systems are healthy, and where peace, security, and democracy are safeguarded." In 2013, he guided Stellenbosch University to the adoption of Vision 2030, stating, "We want to become more inclusive, more innovative, and more future-focused. To do that, we are broadening access to the university, sustaining our momentum on excellence, and enhancing our societal impact. That's how we will nurture thought leaders for the future."
During the start of 2014, while this residence was being completed, the foundations for the rest of our lives were also being built. In learning to live with drills, going from the early hours of the morning, we learned the true value of relationships. The kind of relationship that doesn't come from copious amounts of alcohol and regrets, but a shared living experience of not just stresses about exams, making classes the next day, but genuine concerns like finding a job and possibly moving to new cities. Fears about who you are to become once you leave Stellenbosch University. So while this residence may be seen on others on this campus as just a hip new senior residence, many who live in it have found a place to share their vulnerabilities. It is a safe space for those who are looking at the big bad world with starry eyes and a fair and understandable amount of apprehension. In the communal spaces, I have heard and contributed to conversations around tax, dealing with banks, the signing of leases, and other administrative necessities that no one really teaches you about. But more than that, I've had the privilege of engaging in conversations about identity, independence, hopes, and dreams. No one has ever been forced to sit and participate in seminars about transformation or diversity or critical thinking. However, it's been happening in a way that is truly inspiring and has been fast spreading across this campus. Speaking at a School for Public Leadership breakfast discussion in June last year, Prof Botman said that universities are a place of debate, where a diversity of people and ideas should take us forward. We want our students to examine life critically and to be active and engaged citizens. In order for all of these things to be possible, there must be someone who is willing to buy into the value of student leadership. A person who understands its unique challenges and sees it as more than just people playing the part of being a grown-up, but as a platform for intentional, long life development. Prof Botman was passionate about seeing us as students reach our full potential, regardless of our race, gender, and cultural background. He believed that as students, we are not leaders in waiting, but that we are leaders now. When the current student leadership of this residence were asked to define the value statement of the residence, they offered the following. Huis Russel Botman House success lies in its residents' engagement that is purpose-driven and respectful, and celebrating individuality from within a home where we feel proud and belonging by embracing Ubuntu. We believe that Prof Botman would have supported and been part of this residence community that we as students have built. It is with this conviction and the belief that students who have, do, and will reside in this residence have the ability to make significant positive contributions in society that we requested that this building bear his name. Mag diegene wat in hierdie gebou woon, dit as 'n tuister ervaar. Mag hulle geïnspireer word deur sy nalatenskap en die pedagogie van hoop om versoening, menswaardigheid en maatskaplike geregtigheid te bevorder. Inga abo bahlala kwesisakhiwo bangasibiza ngokuba likhaya. Inga bangakhuthazwa ngumzila wakhe awushiyayo kunye nemfundiso yethemba lokuqhubeka ngoxolelwaniso, isidumo soluntu kunye nobulungisa ekuhlaleni.
May those who reside in this building call it home. May they be inspired by his legacy and pedagogy of hope to further the causes of reconciliation, human dignity, and social justice. Thank you.
Hello everyone, thanks for being here. That goes for everyone, but let me welcome in particular our late Rector's wife, Dr. Beryl Botman, and children, Hayman, Russel, Ilse, Roxanne, and Lizelle. Welcome. It's very special for us that you can be all here. Dankie dat almal van julle saam met ons is hier. Dame en here, dis vir my 'n voorreg om vir julle kortliks toe te spreek by hierdie besonderse geleentheid. Maar dis ook 'n besonderse dag. Vandag is die Menseregte Dag en dit wys ons na die basiese regte en die vryhede waarop alle mense geregtig is en ook 'n reg op lewe en vryheid van denke, uitdrukking en gelykheid voor die reg. Die Verenigde Nasies se universele verklaring van menseregte stel dit as volg: alle menslike wesens word vry met gelyke waardigheid en regte gebore. Hulle behoort in die gees van broederskap teenoor mekaar op te tree, soos die studente ook daarna verwys het en wat in hierdie koshuis gaan gebeur. Toe professor Botman en ek in 2008 baie nouer begin saamwerk het op die bestuur, het ek my gesê ons moet 'n omvattende projek begin reg deur die Universiteit van Stellenbosch om die fisiese fasiliteite, die geboue en die terreine op te gradeer en nuus by te sit. Hy het vir my gesê, Leopold, ons moet bou dat die stof so staan. Nou hierdie bouwerk moes ook studentebehuising insluit, die verbetering en die verdere verskaffing daarvan. Hy het uitgewys watter belangrike rol studentehuisvesting speel in die eienskappe van studente wat hier afstudeer. En hy wou hê meer studente moes in die voorreg deel om in 'n koshuis op Stellenbosch te wees. Ek dink ook spesifiek terug aan 14 Maart verlede jaar, toe professor Botman juis hier gepraat het. En die geleentheid was 'n seremonie om dankie te sê aan studente wat ontwrigting ervaar het tydens die bouwerk aan die koshuise in die voorafgaande paar jaar. Min het ons toe geweet, hy sou 'n ander half maand nie meer met ons wees nie. Juis om daardie rede wil ek graag fokus op wat hy daardie dag gesê het by hierdie plek wat een van sy drome was. The first thing he did was to ask a question to the audience. Isn't this a fantastic place to be? He said, I'm not only referring to the new race, but to this whole new district. And he was referring to a district around this building. And then came his statement. I can truly say that this is one of the most satisfying moments of my time as rector, sê Professor Botman op die 14 Mei hier. Because this is when idea becomes reality. When vision takes concrete shape. Dames en here, u sal my saamstem dat professor Botman soos gewoonlik ook op daardie dag reg was oor dit wat hy bymekaar gekom het van hoe jy jou visie kan laat gebeur. Hy het verduidelik dat die universiteit 'n paar jaar gelede begin werk het aan planne om studente sukses te bevorder, onder meer deur middel van studentebehuising, maar meer nog om dit wat buite die klaskamer gebeur ook deel van die opvoedingsproses te maak en ook om die ou skeiding tussen koshuisstudente en dagstudente te oorbrug. Professor Botman het aangegaan om vir ons te verduidelik dat ook hierdie dinge op 'n paar maniere gedoen kan word. Een was om koshuise en daghuise of PSO's saam in clusters te groepeer. Then followed the first cluster hubs, first Amamatis and later Wimbledon in this very building where we're standing. And now we have this new development which is like a supersized version of the idea, of the hub idea, plus new listen, live and learn units and a whole new residence. The sum total, Professor Botman said on that day, was something very special. Not only because these buildings are beautiful and modern and advanced, which they are, as you can see, but mainly because this development expresses the idea of thought leadership. Then Professor Botman explained that in terms of our Vision 2030, this university strives to become ever more inclusive, innovative and future-oriented. And he said, this student residential development takes us one step closer to our vision. Dames en here, ek dink dit is teen hierdie tyd en aansluiting by wat die studente gesê het en ook wat Pieter gesê het, baie duidelik hoe baie hierdie spesifieke koshuis en die omliggende ontwikkeling vir Professor Botman beteken het. Hy het gesê, it's one of the greatest days in my term as rector. Juist daarom het ons gedink dit is gepas om die koshuisnaam te vernoem. En ek wil baie dankie sê aan Beryl en die kinders wat julle instemming gegee het dat ons Russel se naam vir hierdie koshuis kon gebruik. Russel se huis is nou op die kampus en die universiteit is sy huis vir altyd. In hierdie huis is sy idees saam met ons en is ons dit eens met sy idees van inklusiwiteit, uitnemendheid en toekomsgerigtheid. Baie dankie dames en here. Ek vra nou vir Dr. Botman om na vore te kom vir die onthulling van die plakket.
Dames en here, ladies and gentlemen, it is a huge privilege to be standing here as the residence head of Huis Russel Botman House. The last 16 months, with all the new ventures, have been filled with challenges, but on Tuesday evening when I came home and saw the name installed on the face of the building, I was struck with the appreciation of why we are here. This residence was built with a new view of students, what constitutes their and our success, and the potential to effect real change for the better. In the words of Professor Botman at the Princeton Theological Seminary in April 2013, in dreaming of a better future, we have to ask, who are we doing it for? We hope for ourselves, of course, but more importantly for the generations who will come after us. With this in mind, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks on behalf of this residence and the university community to the following people. Firstly, the Botman family for granting us permission to name this residence in honor of Professor Russel Botman, and also for their contribution and participation in today's inauguration, including the picture of Professor Russel Botman, which they have donated to the residence to hang in its halls. The management of the university, and specifically Professor Leopold van Huisteen and Professor Skoonwinkel, who have led the procession from conception to inauguration of this building, and without whose support today would not have been possible. Facilities management for creating a space for a thriving learning community and the further formation of the university's senior university experience. Our speakers, Philip Sembile and Professor Leopold van Huisteen, and our Master of Ceremonies, Pieter Kloppers, who has also played a rather crucial role in the development of where this university places its senior student experience. Marty van der Linde for organizing this event, and for those of you here today and who know Marty, know that when she starts doing things, it always ends incredibly well. The university is deeply invested in student leadership, and I could not have asked in the last year, 2014, and now in 2015 for better teams of student leaders to help facilitate the formation of a transformative residential community. My heartfelt thanks on behalf of myself and the students in this residence for your incredible leadership. To Tracy and the Huis Russel Botman staff for their tireless efforts in making our building function optimally and look as good as they do, regardless of what building and tent erection needs to happen on a Friday evening. Thank you to my colleagues at Student Structures and Communities for their assistance and support in establishing this residential community. And this extends to the entire student affairs structure. It's an incredibly close-knit family which is deeply invested in student success. And for all of the support, I really thank you. And then lastly, but not least, both residents in this building who will call it home, thank you for your energy and involvement and for being here today, along with guests who knew and miss Professor Russel Botman. Thank you for calling this home, for investing in your own learning experience and joining with us at Transforming Stellenbosch University for a better place. Thank you.
It's truly and honestly a home to come to at the end of the day. You look forward to coming home after a long day of lectures, because those around you become not only your friends, but they become motivation and inspiration and your best friends and family that you come home to.
Yes, we stay in a really good and well-integrated community where everyone feels inclusive and welcome. I think that's the greatest trait that this residence has, is that everybody feels welcome and integrated in this community.
Having been a resident of this house since its start at the beginning of 2014, has been very rewarding to see the changes in the students and the building, to see how much has developed since then, to see the student relationships improving over the years, and just the sense of community that has built, especially this year, starting the year with a res that was fully equipped, with the building all done, especially now having a name. Yeah, it's very exciting.